guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I'm sorry for not uploading the last 2 weeks, but I wanted you guys to take a vacation. Although I didn't anticipate it was going to be a 2-week vacation. I originally intended to upload on 2 weeks ago. But I was running another camp that week, and I was just so busy, did not have any time at all whatsoever to prepare for a video. So I took a much needed vacation. Not to say I don't like making videos for you guys. I love making these videos. But I just need a break every once in a while, and it is summertime, so I got my break. Anyways, I am back today reviewing the third book in the Percy Jackson series, The Titan's Curse. And yeah, so let's just jump right into the summary. Again, non-spoiler always. And then we'll have the spoiler section of the summary. So yeah, let's jump on into the summary part. So, as I said before, The Titan's Curse is the third book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. And we begin with Percy, Annabeth, and Talia answering a distress call from Grover. It turns out that Grover has found 2 young and powerful demigods, but nobody except Grover knows who they are. However, the monster in residence, who turns out to be actually the vice principal, Dr. Thorne, knows who the 2 demigods are. I might as well just say their names already. Their names are Bianca and Nico D'Angelo. Did I mention that they're siblings? But yeah, they're siblings. And so obviously that puts them in a lot of danger, because Dr. Thorne is, like I said, a monster, the monster in residence at the school that Bianca and Nico are going to. Anyways, why am I making this so complicated? So basically, Dr. Thorne knows who Percy, Annabeth, and Talia are, and knows that they're looking for these demigods. Although he doesn't know for sure that these 2 demigods are actually demigods, but he's waiting to see if Percy, Annabeth, and Talia give some kind of hint that they are demigods. Anyways, this is way too confusing. But as I was saying, there are much more sinister plans afoot. Turns out that all of them have just stepped into a trap by the Titan Lord Kronos. And so guess what? They're stuck in another ride or die situation where the only 2 ways out are either A, they fail and die, or B, they survive and conquer the enemy. So yeah, that's basically what it is. And I really can't say too much without giving any spoilers. So yeah, just which one of these 2 situations will it be? Death or life? The ultimate question. You'll have to find out. Okay, anyways. So that was the non-spoiler summary, and onto the super spoiler summary now. So let's get started. As Percy, Grover, and Talia battle Dr. Thorne, it's evident soon that Dr. Thorne is too big of a monster for all of them to handle, and eventually the hunters show up, and the hunters are led by Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, and she has this like company of girls that are like, what their name is, they're hunters, so they help Percy, Grover, Annabeth, and Talia defeat Dr. Thorne, but unfortunately while they're like trying to kill the monster, Annabeth tries to help by jumping on Dr. Thorne. But unfortunately, as they shoot said monster, he goes tumbling over the cliff and takes Annabeth with him, unfortunately. So, yes, quite tragic, very sad. So Annabeth is gone for now. So Percy tells Bianca and Nico about their identity, that they are in fact demigods, but Bianca decides to join the hunters, and this is actually quite a serious decision, because joining the hunters means you swear off romantic love entirely and like stay a girl forever, like you're immortal basically. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Anyways, Bianca joins the hunters against Percy's wishes, because obviously he wants Bianca and Nico to come back to Camp Half-Blood to train with Chiron and all the other campers. Percy and Artemis are like talking, and they're talking about some of the things that Dr. Thorne, or the name for type of monster, the Manticore. They were talking, and Dr. Thorne was saying something about awakening the monster that would bring about the downfall of Olympus. So Artemis is quite disturbed by this, and that she needs to go hunt said monster immediately. So she has her twin brother Apollo, the sun god, take Percy, Grover, Talia, and the rest of the hunters back to Camp Half-Blood until she finishes. They all have to go on this quest now, because whenever there's a prophecy, there's pretty much always a quest you have to go on. And so the prophecy states that 3 hunters and 2 campers from Camp Half-Blood must go. So the 3 hunters are like kind of Artemis's right hand, Zoe, Nightshade, and of course Bianca, and then Phoebe, which is apparently the hunter's best tracker. So the 3 hunters are going. And the 2 campers are going to be Talia and Grover. Percy wanted to go, but he got overruled. So, because apparently the hunters will not travel with a boy, and Percy is a boy. Although Grover is considered a satyr, so he's not like a human boy. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, so they're traveling together. Percy has a dream, and Artemis are in danger. So he goes on his friend Blackjack, the Pegasus, and flies out after the hunters. And so as they go on their quest, they have lots of harrowing adventures, and as they get to this junkyard in a desert, like, you know, the god Hephaestus, I think that's how I say his name, he's like the god of metalworking or something. So anyways, he has a junkyard full of his defective or cursed projects, and whoever takes something from that junkyard is chased by his guard, Talos, which is like a rope. Anyways, Bianca accidentally takes something from the junkyard, and of course the giant comes chasing after them, but in the process of defeating said robot giant, Bianca dies, and okay, she's actually like dead for good. Again, I'm not joking now, okay, she's actually dead for good. Anyways, so saddened, the group has to continue their quest. Basically, they find Artemis, and apparently it turns out that she's holding up the world. So you know, the story of Greek mythology is that Atlas, the god who's supposed to be holding up the entire world, like, can't leave unless somebody takes its place. So in some convoluted happening, we took Atlas's place. Atlas became the general of their evil army, and Luke tricked Annabeth into taking his place. And then they brought Artemis to Annabeth, and they tricked Artemis into taking Annabeth's place. So that's where we are now, and Artemis is holding up the world. It turns out that Atlas is also Zoe's father, and so Percy takes Artemis's place so she can help fight Atlas. But then as Atlas and Artemis are fighting, Artemis sneakily pushes Atlas under the point where you hold up the sky, and knocks into Percy. So Percy quickly rolls out of the way, and of course the sky falls on Atlas, so he is forced to hold it again. And so in the process, Talia accidentally kicks Luke off the edge of the cliff, because Luke was like consorting with Atlas, so he was in the battle too. So Talia kicks Luke off the cliff, and I don't know if he dies. Did they say if he dies? I don't know if they said if he dies. But yeah, anyways, Luke is at the bottom of the cliff now, and Annabeth's dad, of all people, Dr. Chase, comes and rescues them all. And so everything turns out well, because Talia joins the hunters in place of Zoe, because Zoe died in battle. Also very sad. So Talia is now in the hunters. So basically everything turns out well. Not actually. So it turns out when Percy goes and tells Nico that Bianca is dead, Nico does not take it so well, and he has a major meltdown, tells Percy he hates him, and in the process, the skeleton warriors that have been chasing Percy and his friends previously now appear, and Nico somehow manages to kill them. And so Percy, apparently because these skeleton warriors are indestructible, so Percy thinks that Nico is a son of Hades, the Lord of the Dead. And so yeah, we kind of end on that ominous note. So anyways, that's the end of the spoiler summary, guys. Let's move on to the morals. So, welcome back, non-spoiler people. Here we are with the worldview. So, as I have said before, this is like the 3rd time I'm saying it now. Rick Riordan is not a Christian author for sure. There are definitely, like, basically the worldview here is you obey the gods and you sacrifice to them and stuff, and then they'll be happy and you live. Basically the worldview here is a polytheistic worldview, meaning that there are many gods, and lots of these gods do show up throughout the book. So yeah, I'll note all the mythical monsters that appear, but that's pretty much it for worldviews. There aren't any other prominent worldviews here. So, oh yeah, there are a few exclamations of, oh my gods, you know, instead of saying like, oh my god, then you would say, oh my gods, yeah, which is that actually they should have gone under language. But anyways, let's move on just to foul language anyways. So as I mentioned before, there was the oh my gods that was said quite a few times throughout the book, and I think it just they just keep saying it throughout the rest of the series. It's kind of like a Percy Jackson joke. So yeah, other than that, like I said, there weren't any other specifically bad words. Some minor rudeness, shut-ups, what the heck, that kind of things. Those kinds of things. Oh, this is also where the whole, like, this is another Percy Jackson joke. So in the story, they were at the Hoover Dam, and so Zoe, like, she talks kind of old-fashioned, so she wanted to go to the snack bar, so she said, I want to go to the dam snack bar, like, you know, the snack bar at the dam, but of course dam, as in like the Hoover Dam, is spelled D-A-M, but obviously Percy and Annabeth and Thalia all know that, you know, Percy and Grover and Thalia all know that if you spell dam D-A-M-N, that's, you know, a bad word. So they were all like kind of joking there, say like, yeah, I need to use the like dam, and again dam as in D-A-M, like the D-A-M restroom, and etc. So obviously Zoe didn't understand that, but it wasn't spelled D-A-M-N whenever they were joking about that. It was always spelled D-A-M. That's not really a bad word, but then they're kind of uttering it with like the intention of joking it that it was a bad word. I don't know. So yeah, there's that. And moving on to violence. There was some violence, you know, minor action sequences, sword fights, wounds, injuries, etc. Nothing overtly bloody or gory. So yeah, moving on to romance. So there's nothing inappropriate here in terms of romance. Again, this whole book is based on the premise that these heroes or these demigods are half god, half human, so obviously you have one godparent, one human parent, whatever. But yeah, this book is based on the premise of that. There's nothing inappropriate here in terms of romance. There's basically very little romance in here. So yeah, moving on to alcohol. Again, we have good old Mr. Dionysus, the god of wine. So he makes a few appearances in the book talking about wine and whatever. But yeah, that's basically it. Nobody gets like drunk or anything. So yeah, moving on to my rating recommended age level. So I'm going to read this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It was well written and funny, and it was funny, engaging, and it was written in a way that I think makes it easier for young people to understand, and all the while educating you about Greek mythology. But again, I've said this in the last 2 videos of my reviews of the other 2 books in the Percy Jackson series, and I'm going to say it again. So my age recommendation is a little bit complicated. As for reading level, I'd say 11 to 12. But as for the maturity level, I'd say 12 to 13 plus. And that's because I think you should have a good, like, solid biblical worldview before you can read all these, like, Greek mythology and stuff. Well, I'd say, like, before you can, but, like, before you should, more like. So, yeah, it's just the way I feel like you should have a grounded worldview before you should have a grounded worldview before you read all this stuff, so that it doesn't like get in your head and become your main worldview. So yeah, that's my perspective on it. And again, like, I've met some kids that are like really mature for their ages, so my ages are just a recommended guideline. It's ultimately up to you guys to use your own discretion about what you think is a good reading level or age for yourself or your kid or whoever is watching this video. So yeah, that's it. Overall, I really enjoyed The Titan's Curse. It was a good book, and yeah, I liked it. That's the end of my review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Yes, I will be posting next week, though the week after that might be hard again, because I'm going to be in Ottawa for 2 weeks for Dance Enchanted, so I might do some kind of, like, vlog thing then, but I don't know. We'll see. I might not. I don't know if I can bring a computer. I might not be. Anyways, yeah, we'll just see about that. So thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!